Hello, everyone. This is Parrish Alford with the Daily Journal. Just setting up the week for you in Ole Miss basketball. The Rebels coming off a big 81-74 win at Vanderbilt. That's been a place they've played well of late. I can remember back in the day, Memorial Gym, people feared going in there. The Commodores had better teams then. It had that unique configuration with the benches under the baskets. That was always a storyline, but Ole Miss has now won on its last 3 trips to Memorial Gym in Nashville. So that was the 3rd road win for Ole Miss. And with 2 wins last week, the Rebels really have jumped up in the RPI back up into the mid-50s. And honestly, as inconsistent as this team was earlier in the season, they can play their way back into the NCAA tournament conversation. What this resume lacks right now is a really big quality win, and there aren't a lot of opportunities left for that. There's a top 20 opponent coming up in Oxford in the final regular season game in South Carolina. And before that, a couple of top 40 RPI opportunities on the road, and that makes a difference. At Tennessee, that's this Wednesday, and then at Arkansas coming up later. Ole Miss is 5-5 in the SEC right now. Do they have to win out? Maybe. To get a strong look, 13-5 in the conference, that would certainly put them in the conversation. That would give them a strong conference record. If they were to win out, that would give them 2 more road wins at least, and that would give the Rebels, those quality RPI wins, those top 40 wins that we were just discussing. So do they have to win out to get there? Maybe, but they have that opportunity, and they seem to be playing their best basketball of the year right now. So this week, they are at Tennessee on Wednesday evening. That's an SEC network game. Then they come back for a 5 o'clock start at home against Auburn on Saturday. They've already won against Auburn, but it was easy by no means, and that was another road win. So they've got that in their pocket. But Auburn is very athletic and good at the guard position, and the Tigers will be visiting Ole Miss at the Pavilion Saturday at 5. So that's kind of the week. What we talked last week about the need for Breein Tyree to become more consistent offensively. And he didn't score a lot against Vanderbilt, but what he has done consistently has been to protect the basketball. And with Tyree doing that, and Tyree handling the ball as much as he has of late, we've really seen the turnover numbers for Ole Miss as a team reduce, and that's something that they really needed to accomplish, and they've been able to do that in this streak where they've been playing better. Tyree just 1 turnover in 25 minutes against Vanderbilt. Terrence Davis played well, and he needs to continue to do that. 17.7 rebounds against the Commodores. And DeAndre Burnett got to the free throw line. That was something we talked about earlier. Would he be able to get in the lane and create a shot, get to the free throw line? Remember, before the high ankle sprain against Georgia in mid-January, this is a guy who was shooting about 90% from the free throw line. His first couple of games coming back off the injury really were inconsistent offensively overall, not shooting well from the floor, but not getting to the free throw line as much, and when he did, really not connecting at the rate we had seen before the high ankle sprain. So it was good to see Burnett get into the lane, get to the free throw line, where he was 8 for 9 against Vanderbilt. If he really can come on like that, and Tyree continue to play well, these are key elements in this team moving forward. But remember Davis, this is a guy that, as Andy Kennedy has described, scoring from Davis is no longer like bonus coverage, as we would say in newspaper. It's not just that something extra. It's something that this team has to have. So for him to go on the road in Nashville and get 17.7 rebounds, that was big. They'll need a repeat performance like that from Davis Wednesday night against Tennessee, and then later this week against Auburn. That's kind of setting up the week for Ole Miss basketball. Baseball still a week away. We'll have some coverage of that on djournal.com. Coming up later today, Mike Bianco says there's a lot of competition going on right now for his starting pitching rotation. Nobody's really separated themselves, but I would keep an eye on James McArthur and David Parkinson. If nobody really separates themselves, then you go with the guys who have experience, and they do, and they pitched some big innings last year. So baseball still a week out. A week from this Friday, the Rebels will open at home against number 10 East Carolina. So that's your week in Ole Miss sports. Remember, updates daily at djournal.com.